The Art of Letting Go. Complete story. Welcome to Heart's Obsession. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Part 1, The Gallery of Broken Promises. The night everything changed. Maya Rodriguez stood in the center of the Sterling Gallery, surrounded by her life's work. Paintings covered every wall, each one a piece of her soul laid bare for the world to see. Tonight was supposed to be the beginning of everything, her first major exhibition, her engagement party, her dream coming true. She wore a flowing emerald dress that matched the eyes of the man she loved, and her dark hair was pulled back to reveal the diamond necklace he had given her just last month. "You look absolutely radiant," her best friend Sophie whispered, squeezing her hand. "Adrian won't be able to take his eyes off you." Maya smiled, though something felt off. Adrian had been distant lately, always on his phone, always working late at his architecture firm. But tonight, she told herself, tonight everything would be perfect. He had promised to be here by 8, and it was already 8:30. The gallery buzzed with art collectors, critics, and society members. Her paintings, a collection titled Devotion, explored themes of love, trust, and commitment. Each piece featured intertwined figures, lovers holding each other through storms and sunshine. The centerpiece was a large canvas called Eternal Promise, two souls merging into one, painted in gold and deep blue. The text that shattered everything. Maya's phone buzzed in her clutch. She pulled it out, expecting a message from Adrian explaining his delay. Instead, she saw a text from an unknown number. Her heart stopped as she read the words, "I'm sorry you had to find out this way. Check his cloud storage. Password, Maya Forever 2024. You deserve to know the truth." Her hands trembled. This had to be a cruel joke. Someone trying to ruin her special night. But something in her gut twisted painfully. With shaking fingers, she excused herself from a conversation with an art critic and slipped into the gallery's back office. She logged into Adrian's cloud account using the password, and it worked. Her stomach dropped. The first folder was labeled Construction Projects, but as she scrolled down, she saw another folder, Deep Personal. Her finger hovered over it for a moment before she tapped it open. The truth in photographs. Photographs filled the screen. Adrian with another woman. Not just any woman, Vanessa Chen, his business partner, the woman he always said was just a colleague. But these photos told a different story. Adrian kissing Vanessa at a restaurant. Adrian and Vanessa on a beach somewhere tropical. Adrian and Vanessa in his apartment, the apartment where Maya had painted her entire collection, where she had dreamed of their future together. The dates on the photos made her knees weak. The beach photo was from last month, the same week he had given her the necklace. The restaurant photo was from 3 days ago when he had told her he was meeting a client. The apartment photos were from yesterday. Maya's vision blurred with tears. She scrolled through message threads where Adrian called Vanessa my real future and referred to Maya as the artist I'm stuck with until her exhibition is over. He had written, "Once her show is done and she makes her connections, I'll break it off. Can't do it before, she'll fall apart and ruin everything. Just a few more weeks, babe." The collapse. Maya didn't remember walking back into the gallery. She didn't remember the concerned faces of the guests or Sophie's alarmed voice asking if she was okay. She only remembered standing in front of Eternal Promise, staring at the intertwined souls she had painted with such hope, such faith. Adrian arrived at 9:15, perfectly groomed in his tailored suit, a practiced smile on his face. He walked straight to Maya, arms open for an embrace. "Sorry I'm late, darling. Traffic was." Maya stepped back. Her face was pale, her eyes red but dry now. She had cried all her tears in the office. Now she felt nothing but a cold, hollow emptiness. "Maya? What's wrong?" Adrian's concern looked so genuine. How had she never seen through it before? She unlocked her phone and held it up, showing him his own cloud storage, his own words, his own lies displayed for him to see. The color drained from Adrian's face. "Maya, I can explain." don't. Her voice was surprisingly steady. Don't insult me with more lies. The gallery had gone quiet. People were staring. Adrian grabbed her arm, trying to pull her toward a private corner, but Maya yanked free. Everyone here needs to know, she said loudly, her voice echoing through the space. This collection is called Devotion. I painted it for the man I thought I would marry. But devotion, I've learned tonight, is not something he understands. The public humiliation. Adrian's face turned red. Maya, please, you're making a scene. Let's talk about this privately. Privately? Maya laughed, a bitter sound that didn't sound like her own voice. Like how you privately carried on with Vanessa for months. Like how you privately called me the artist you're stuck with. No, Adrian. I think everyone here deserves to know exactly what kind of man you are. Sophie appeared at Maya's side, having clearly pieced together what happened. Come on, sweetie. Let's get you out of here. But Maya wasn't done. She walked to Eternal Promise and very carefully, very deliberately, took it off the wall. The gallery owner started to protest, but something in Maya's expression stopped her. Maya carried the large canvas to the center of the room. This painting, she announced to the stunned crowd, represents a lie. And I don't keep lies in my collection. She set it on the floor and picked up a palette knife from a nearby display. Before anyone could stop her, she dragged the knife across the canvas, creating a deep slash through the intertwined figures. The sound of tearing canvas echoed through the silent gallery. Adrian lunged forward. Maya, stop. That painting is worth nothing, Maya finished. It's worth nothing. Just like the promises you made me. The aftermath. Security finally intervened, gently taking the knife from Maya's hand. The gallery owner was torn between horror at the destroyed artwork and fascination with the dramatic scene. Art collectors were already whispering excitedly, this kind of passion, this kind of raw emotion would make Maya's other pieces even more valuable. Adrian tried once more to approach her. Maya, I love you. I made mistakes, but we can work through. No, Maya said simply. She pulled off the diamond necklace and dropped it at his feet. We're done. Keep the ring, keep your lies, keep Vanessa. I'm done with all of it. She walked out of the gallery with Sophie close behind, leaving her carefully planned exhibition, her engagement, and her old life in ruins. The mysterious call. 3 days later, Maya was in her studio apartment, surrounded by packed boxes. She had sold most of her paintings from the exhibition, the drama had indeed made them more desirable. The money would let her start over somewhere new. She had been crying on and off for 72 hours, barely eating, unable to sleep without seeing Adrian's face, hearing his lies. Her phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Miss Rodriguez, my name is Elijah Cross. I'm an art curator and collector. I was at your exhibition the other night. Maya closed her eyes. If you're calling to buy Eternal Promise, it's destroyed. I destroyed it. I know, the man said. His voice was smooth, cultured, with a hint of an accent she couldn't place. That's why I'm calling. That act of destruction was the most honest piece of art I've seen in years. Most artists hide their pain. You displayed yours for the world to see. That takes courage. Or insanity, Maya muttered. Perhaps they're the same thing. She could hear the smile in his voice. Miss Rodriguez, I have a proposition for you. I run a private art institute in Barcelona. We take in artists who have experienced significant trauma and help them channel that pain into transcendent work. We provide housing, studio space, complete anonymity if desired, and connections to the European art world. No strings attached. Maya's breath caught. Why would you do that for me? Because I see potential in you. Great art comes from great pain, Miss Rodriguez. You have both. What you need now is time and space to transform that pain into something extraordinary. The decision. Maya should have been suspicious. She should have asked more questions. But she was drowning in heartbreak and humiliation. The thought of disappearing, of reinventing herself somewhere far from Adrian and the wreckage of her life, was too tempting to resist. "I'll think about it," she said. "Of course. I'll email you the details. But Miss Rodriguez, one more thing. This opportunity comes with a condition. You will create under a pseudonym. Your work will be shown anonymously. You will become a mystery in the art world. Can you accept that?" Maya thought about it. Becoming someone else, leaving Maya Rodriguez and her broken heart behind. "Yes," she said finally. "I can accept that." "Excellent. I'll be in touch." "Oh, and Miss Rodriguez? Don't tell anyone where you're going. Clean breaks heal best." The line went dead, leaving everything behind. 2 weeks later, Maya stood at the airport with a single suitcase and her art supplies. She had told her family she needed time away to heal. She had told Sophie she was going to a private retreat. She hadn't told anyone about Barcelona or Elijah Cross or the mysterious opportunity that felt too good to be true. As she boarded the plane, she took one last look at her phone. Adrian had called 47 times in the past 2 weeks. He had sent hundreds of texts, each one more desperate than the last. He claimed it was all a misunderstanding, that he loved her, that Vanessa meant nothing. He promised to go to therapy, to change, to prove himself. Maya deleted every message without reading them. She deleted his contact. She deleted the photos of them together. As the plane lifted off the ground, she deleted her social media accounts. Maya Rodriguez, the heartbroken artist, was disappearing. Someone new was being born. The Institute. Barcelona was everything Elijah had promised. The Institute was a beautiful old building in the Gothic Quarter, with high ceilings, natural light pouring through massive windows, and a community of artists from around the world, all of them hiding from something, all of them healing through their work. Elijah himself was an enigma. Tall, silver-haired, probably in his early 60s, with sharp eyes that seemed to see everything. He wore expensive suits and spoke 7 languages. He visited the Institute once a month, offering critiques and guidance, then disappeared again to his other ventures. "You'll work under the name Soledad," he told Maya on her first day. "It means solitude in Spanish." "Fitting, don't you think?" Maya nodded. Soledad. Yes, that fit perfectly. The transformation begins. For 3 months, Maya did nothing but paint. She painted her anger, violent reds and blacks, canvases that looked like screams made visible. She painted her grief, deep blues and grays, figures dissolving into mist. She painted her betrayal, twisted forms, broken promises made manifest in oil and acrylic. The other artists left her alone, respecting her process. But slowly, as the raw pain began to fade, Maya started to join them for meals, for walks through the city, for quiet conversations about art and healing. She learned that everyone here had a story. Thomas had lost his entire family in a car accident. Yuki had been blacklisted by the Japanese art establishment for criticizing their treatment of women artists. Dmitri had fled Russia for political reasons. They were all broken in different ways, all healing through their work. The emergence of Soledad. By month 6, Maya's work had evolved. The anger and grief were still there, but now there was something else, a dark beauty, a haunting quality that made people stop and stare. She painted revenge fantasies, not violent ones, but psychological ones. Paintings where the betrayed became powerful, where the liar's world crumbled, where justice was poetic and perfect. Elijah visited and stood before her latest piece, a painting titled The Unraveling. It showed a man made of threads being slowly pulled apart by invisible hands while he reached for a woman who was walking away, whole and glowing. "Magnificent," Elijah murmured. "You're ready." "Ready for what?" "To show the world what Soledad has created. I have connections to galleries across Europe. Your work will be shown anonymously, of course. The mystery will make you even more intriguing. The plan forms. That night, Maya lay in her bed, staring at the ceiling. Something had shifted in her. The heartbroken girl who left New York was gone. In her place was someone harder, sharper, more focused. She thought about Adrian. She thought about how he had used her, planned to discard her, lied to her face while plotting his future with someone else. She thought about how he had stolen a year of her life, how he had made her doubt her own worth. And she realized something: disappearing wasn't enough. Healing wasn't enough. She wanted him to understand what he had done. She wanted him to feel even a fraction of what she had felt standing in that gallery, reading his cruel words. But how? She was anonymous now, thousands of miles away, supposedly healing and moving on. Then an idea began to form. A beautiful, terrible, perfect idea. The proposal. The next morning, Maya went to Elijah's office during his monthly visit. "I want to show my work in New York," she said. Elijah raised an eyebrow. "Interesting. Any particular reason?" "Personal demons to face," Maya said carefully. "And I think the American market would respond well to Soledad's work." Elijah studied her. "You're planning something." It wasn't a question. Maya met his gaze steadily. "I'm planning to take control of my narrative." A slow smile spread across Elijah's face. "Then let's make it spectacular. Soledad's American debut should be unforgettable." 3 years later. Maya had been gone for 3 years. 3 years of painting, of becoming Soledad, of building a reputation in the European art world. Soledad's work sold for hundreds of thousands of euros. Critics called her the voice of elegant vengeance and the poet of betrayal. No one knew her identity. No one had ever seen her face at an exhibition. The mystery made her legendary. And now, it was time to go home. Not as Maya Rodriguez, the heartbroken artist who had destroyed her own painting and fled the country. But as Soledad, the most sought-after artist in the modern art world, coming to New York for one exclusive exhibition. An exhibition that would change everything. Maya looked at herself in the mirror. Her hair was shorter now, dyed a deep auburn. She wore designer clothes instead of paint-stained jeans. She carried herself differently, confident, mysterious, powerful. She was ready. Ready to return. Ready to execute her plan. Ready to show Adrian exactly what he had lost and exactly what his betrayal had created. The game was about to begin. Part 2, Canvas of Deception. The Return. The private jet touched down at JFK on a crisp October evening. Maya stepped out onto the tarmac, the cool New York air hitting her face like a memory. 3 years. She had been gone for 3 years, and now she was back, but not as herself. A black car waited for her. Inside, Elijah sat with 2 glasses of champagne. "Welcome home, Soledad," he said, handing her a glass. Maya took it but didn't drink. "Does anyone know that the mysterious Soledad is actually Maya Rodriguez?" "No one. Your family thinks you're still in Europe at a wellness retreat. Sophie thinks you're traveling Asia finding yourself. The art world knows only that Soledad has graced America with her presence for one exhibition, and everyone is desperate for an invitation." "And Adrian?" Elijah's smile was sharp. "Adrian Blackwell is now a successful architect. He married Vanessa Chen 6 months after you left. They have a design firm together, Blackwell and Chen Architecture. They're very prominent in New York society. And they're both obsessed with getting an invitation to your exhibition." Maya's hand tightened on her glass. "He married her. Did you expect otherwise?" "No," Maya said softly. "But knowing it and hearing it are different things." The bait. The exhibition was scheduled for 3 months away at the prestigious Morgan Gallery in Manhattan. The curator, an elegant woman named Diana, had been ecstatic when Elijah reached out about bringing Soledad to New York. "But there's one condition," Maya had told her during their first call. I want to design the entire space myself. The layout, the lighting, the flow. Everything must be exactly as I envision it. Diana had agreed immediately. Soledad could have asked for anything. The promotional materials went out 2 weeks after Maya arrived. Soledad, an exhibition of resurrection. The pieces would explore themes of rebirth after betrayal, of rising from ashes, of revenge as art form. The invitation list was exclusive, only 100 people in all of New York would be allowed to attend the opening night. Maya made sure Adrian and Vanessa's names were on that list. The first encounter. Maya arranged her accidental meeting with Adrian carefully. She discovered through social media that Blackwell & Chen Architecture had won the contract to redesign a historic building in Soho. The unveiling of their plans was at a public community board meeting. She dressed simply, jeans, a white blouse, her auburn hair pulled back. She wore clear-framed glasses and minimal makeup. She looked like an interested community member, nothing more. Adrian stood at the front of the room with Vanessa, presenting their vision. He looked older, Maya thought. Still handsome but worn around the edges. There were lines around his eyes that hadn't been there before. Vanessa stood beside him, polished and professional, her hand occasionally touching his arm in a possessive gesture. Maya waited until the Q&A portion. She raised her hand. Adrian pointed at her. Yes, the woman in the back? Your design is beautiful, Maya said, modulating her voice slightly to make it sound different from how she used to speak. But it seems to prioritize aesthetics over community needs. How do you balance commercial interests with the neighborhood's character? It was a pointed question. Adrian's face tightened slightly. We believe our design enhances the neighborhood rather than changes it. We've done extensive research. Research isn't the same as understanding, Maya interrupted gently. Sometimes the most beautiful facades hide empty interiors. Vanessa's eyes narrowed. Adrian looked unsettled. But he recovered quickly, giving a smooth response about their commitment to community input. After the meeting, Maya lingered, looking at the displayed renderings. She sensed someone approaching and turned to find Adrian standing beside her. That was a tough question, he said, offering a charming smile. You're clearly passionate about the neighborhood. I'm passionate about authenticity, Maya replied. I think buildings, like people, should be what they appear to be. Adrian studied her. Have we met before? You look familiar. Maya's heart pounded, but she kept her expression neutral. I don't think so. I would remember. Adrian Blackwell, he said, extending his hand. Maya shook it, feeling nothing where she once would have felt everything. Sophia Loren, she said, using the name on the fake ID Elijah had provided. I'm new to the neighborhood. Well, welcome to Soho, Sophia. If you have any other questions about the project, here's my card. He handed her a business card with a smile that was probably meant to be charming. Maya took it. Thank you. Though I should mention, I'm more interested in art than architecture. I'm actually in town for the Soledad exhibition. Have you heard of it? Adrian's eyes lit up. Soledad? Of course. Everyone's talking about it. Vanessa and I have been trying to get invitations, but they're impossible to obtain. Really? Maya tilted her head. That's a shame. Her work is extraordinary. They say she paints betrayal better than anyone alive. Something flickered across Adrian's face. Was it discomfort? Guilt? It was gone too quickly for Maya to be sure. Betrayal? He repeated. Yes. Apparently, she experienced a devastating romantic betrayal years ago and channels it into her art. Some critics say you can feel the pain radiating off her canvases. Others say it's not pain but power, the power of someone who survived and came out stronger. Adrian was quiet for a moment. That's intense. Great art usually is, Maya said. She smiled. It was nice meeting you, Mr. Blackwell. Good luck with your project. She walked away, feeling his eyes on her back. The seed is planted. Over the next few weeks, Maya orchestrated 3 more accidental encounters with Adrian. Each time, she was Sophia Loren, the mysterious woman who seemed to appear wherever he was, who asked uncomfortable questions, who seemed to see through his carefully constructed image. At a gallery opening, she cornered him and Vanessa, commenting on how rare it was to see professional partners who were also romantic partners. So much pressure, she mused. Mixing business with pleasure. One wrong move and everything collapses together. At a charity gala, she mentioned how she admired couples who were transparent with each other. Trust is everything, don't you think? Once it's broken, it can never fully be repaired. At a coffee shop, this encounter genuinely accidental. She sat at the next table and took a phone call, staged, of course, where she spoke loudly about a friend whose ex-fiancé had cheated on her. He married the other woman, Maya said into the phone, watching Adrian stiffen in his seat. Can you imagine? He threw away something real for something fake. Now he's stuck in a marriage built on lies. Karma, I guess. After each encounter, Maya could see Adrian becoming more unsettled. He started watching her. Once, she caught him looking at her social media, but Sophia Loren's accounts were carefully curated by Elijah's team, showing a mysterious art consultant with no connection to Maya Rodriguez. The investigation. What Maya didn't know was that Adrian had become obsessed with Sophia Loren. There was something about her that haunted him, her voice, her eyes, the way she seemed to see through him. And her comments about betrayal, about broken trust, about karma, they hit too close to home. Because Adrian's marriage to Vanessa was falling apart. It turned out that a relationship built on cheating and lies made a terrible foundation for marriage. Vanessa was controlling and paranoid, constantly checking his phone, questioning his whereabouts. She had made him cut off all his old friends, anyone who had known Maya. She monitored his social media, his emails, his bank accounts. And Adrian realized, too late, what he had traded away. Maya had trusted him completely. Maya had supported his dreams. Maya had loved him without conditions or control. And he had thrown it all away for excitement, for the thrill of deception, for Vanessa's aggressive pursuit of him. Now he was trapped in a marriage that felt like a prison, with a business partner he couldn't escape without destroying his career. And this mysterious Sophia Loren kept appearing, making comments that felt like she knew, somehow knew, about his greatest regret. He hired a private investigator to find out more about Sophia Loren. The investigator came back with basic information. She was an art consultant, recently moved to New York from Europe, no criminal record, no obvious red flags. But something didn't add up. Her past before 2 years ago was vague, almost deliberately obscured. The invitation. 2 weeks before the exhibition, Adrian and Vanessa finally received their invitations to the Soledad opening. Vanessa was ecstatic. Do you know how exclusive this is? Only 100 people in all of New York. This will be incredible for our reputation. Adrian stared at the heavy black invitation with silver lettering. Soledad, an exhibition of resurrection. You are invited to witness the transformation of pain into power. Something about it made him uneasy. That night, he couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about Maya, about the night of her exhibition, about the pain in her eyes when she had seen the truth. He thought about the painting she had destroyed, Eternal Promise, and how she had slashed it in front of everyone. He had tried to find her after she left. 4 months, he had searched. But Maya had vanished completely. Her family wouldn't talk to him. Sophie had told him to never contact her again. Eventually, he had given up and married Vanessa, telling himself it was what he wanted. But late at night, when Vanessa was asleep beside him and he stared at the ceiling, Adrian couldn't escape the truth. He had made the biggest mistake of his life. And now, for reasons he couldn't explain, he felt like that mistake was about to come back to haunt him. The exhibition setup. Maya spent every day at the Morgan Gallery, preparing for the exhibition. She worked late into the night, arranging each painting precisely, adjusting the lighting, creating the perfect atmosphere. Diana, the curator, watched in fascination. "You're telling a story with the layout," she observed. "Every exhibition tells a story," Maya replied. "Mine just happens to be about the death of innocence and the birth of something stronger." The exhibition was arranged in 7 rooms, each representing a stage of transformation. Room 1, Devotion, paintings of love, trust, and vulnerability. Room 2, Revelation, the moment of betrayal, violent reds and blacks. Room 3, Destruction, the death of the old self, figures dissolving. Room 4, Void, empty canvases, the space between death and rebirth. Room 5, Awakening, new strength emerging, phoenix imagery. Room 6, Retribution, the paintings of elegant revenge, poetic justice. Room 7, Resurrection, the final transformation, powerful and whole. In the center of Room 7, Maya placed her masterpiece. It was titled Eternal Promise Fulfilled, and it showed a woman rising from torn canvas, threads of gold forming wings around her while a man's shadow faded into the background. It was a direct reference to the painting she had destroyed 3 years ago. Anyone who had been at that exhibition would recognize the connection. The final preparations. The night before the opening, Elijah found Maya standing alone in Room 7, staring at her masterpiece. "Are you sure about this?" he asked gently. "Once you reveal yourself, you can't take it back." "I'm sure," Maya said. "He needs to know. Not for revenge, not really. But for closure. For both of us. And what if he doesn't understand? What if he doesn't recognize you until it's too late?" Maya smiled. "Then I'll make sure he never forgets." Elijah was quiet for a moment. "You know, when I found you 3 years ago, you were broken. Now you're magnificent. Regardless of what happens tomorrow, you've already won." "Have I?" Maya turned to look at him. "Sometimes I'm not sure what winning even means anymore. Winning means being strong enough to walk away from revenge if you choose to. Strong enough to forgive if you want to. Strong enough to be free of him, one way or another." Maya nodded slowly. "Then let's hope I'm that strong." The morning of opening night arrived. Maya dressed carefully in a black gown that was both elegant and powerful. Her auburn hair was styled in waves. She wore minimal jewelry, just a pair of gold earrings shaped like wings. She arrived at the gallery 2 hours before the doors opened. Everything was perfect. The lighting cast dramatic shadows. The paintings seemed to glow with their own inner light. The story was clear for anyone willing to see it. Diana rushed up to her. "Soledad, you look absolutely stunning. Everyone is dying to meet you. The press is outside already. Are you ready for your big reveal?" "Not yet," Maya said. "I need to greet the guests anonymously first. I'll reveal myself at the end of the night." "But trust me," Maya said. "It will be more impactful this way." As the guests began to arrive, Maya positioned herself in Room 1, wearing a simple mask, not enough to completely hide her face, but enough to remain mysterious. She watched as New York's elite wandered through the exhibition, exclaiming over the paintings, discussing the themes, speculating about Soledad's identity. Adrian arrives. Adrian and Vanessa arrived fashionably late. Vanessa was dressed to impress in a red gown that was too formal for the occasion. She clung to Adrian's arm possessively, already networking with other guests. Adrian looked uncomfortable in his tuxedo. His eyes moved over the crowd, and Maya could tell he was searching for someone, for Sophia Loren, perhaps? The mysterious woman who had been appearing in his life, making him question everything? Maya watched from behind her mask as Adrian and Vanessa moved through the rooms. She saw Vanessa's dismissive comments about some of the paintings, saw Adrian's distracted responses. She saw the tension between them, the way they stood apart even while standing together. In Room 2, Adrian stopped in front of a painting titled The Lie. It showed a man's face splitting down the middle, one half smiling, one half screaming. His eyes widened. "This is disturbing," Vanessa said, pulling at his arm. Let's move on. But Adrian didn't move. He stared at the painting like he was seeing something horrifying in it, perhaps a mirror. The recognition. It was in room 6, Retribution, that Adrian began to understand. The paintings in this room were different from the others. They were specific, detailed, intimate. They showed moments that only someone who had lived them would know. One painting, titled The Necklace, showed a diamond necklace lying in broken pieces on a gallery floor. Another, The Cloud, depicted a phone glowing in darkness, secrets spilling out like blood. A third, The Promise, showed two figures made of thread being pulled apart, exactly like the painting Maya had created later, but this was the first version, the original vision. Adrian went pale. His hand reached out to touch the wall, steadying himself. Adrian? Vanessa's voice was sharp. What's wrong? These paintings, he whispered. They're about. About what? He turned to look at her, and for the first time, Vanessa saw real fear in his eyes. About me. About us. About what we did. Vanessa laughed nervously. Don't be ridiculous. How would Soledad know anything about? Because she was there, a voice said behind them. They turned to find Maya standing there, her mask now removed, her face fully visible for the first time in 3 years. Adrian's face went white. His mouth opened but no sound came out. He looked like he was seeing a ghost. Hello, Adrian, Maya said calmly. Did you enjoy my exhibition? Part 3, Portrait of Forgiveness. The confrontation. The room seemed to freeze. Other guests continued moving through the exhibition, unaware of the drama unfolding in room 6. But for Adrian, Vanessa, and Maya, the rest of the world disappeared. Maya? Adrian's voice was barely a whisper. He took a step forward, then stopped, like he wasn't sure if she was real. But you've been, everyone said you were. Gone? Maya finished. Yes, I was. I needed to be. You destroyed me, Adrian. That night at my exhibition, when I found out the truth, something in me died. So I let Maya Rodriguez disappear. And I became someone stronger. Vanessa found her voice, though it came out sharp and defensive. You're Soledad? That's impossible. Soledad is famous, she's been showing work in Europe for years. 3 years, Maya corrected. I've been showing work in Europe for exactly 3 years. Since the week after I left New York. Since the week after I discovered my fiancé was planning to dump me as soon as my exhibition was over so he could be with his business partner. Adrian flinched like she had struck him. Maya, I never meant to hurt you like that. I was confused, I made terrible choices, but nothing, Maya said, her voice like ice. You used me. You pretended to love me while planning your future with her. You made me feel crazy for sensing something was wrong. You stole an entire year of my life with your lies. I'm sorry, Adrian said, and tears were actually forming in his eyes. God, Maya, I'm so sorry. I've thought about you every single day for 3 years. I tried to find you. I wanted to apologize, to explain. Explain what? Maya's voice rose. That you're a liar? A cheater? That you threw away something real for something fake? I know all that already, Adrian. I've spent 3 years painting it, living it, transforming it into art. This entire exhibition is my explanation. This is what you did to me. Vanessa's reaction. Vanessa had been standing silently, her face growing redder by the second. Now she exploded. This is insane. You set this all up? You brought us here just to humiliate us? Maya turned to her. I brought you here so you could see what betrayal looks like when it's transformed into something beautiful. Tell me, Vanessa, was he worth it? Was stealing someone else's fiancé worth building a life on lies? I didn't steal him, Vanessa snapped. He came to me willingly. Maybe if you had been enough for him, he wouldn't have needed anyone else. The words were designed to hurt, and 3 years ago they would have shattered Maya. But now, she just smiled sadly. You're right. I wasn't enough for him. Because I was authentic and he needed someone as false as he was. Someone who would help him lie, who would participate in the deception. Congratulations, Vanessa. You got exactly what you deserved, a man who will betray you the same way he betrayed me. Vanessa's face went white. She looked at Adrian. Is that true? Are you cheating on me?